you tell us how your PANS journey started?
The journey started with a lot of confusion and a lot of desperation in terms of not knowing what was going on. I went through several avenues of different counseling, therapies, anger management stuff until eventually all these sort of symptoms were put together by an article on pans and pandas, and it allowed me to piece together myself, or more aptly, it allowed my parents to piece together myself because unfortunately, I think I was in a bit too dark a place to do it myself by that point. There was also, I mean, it came to the forefront, I guess, with I was bullied quite a lot, and that's what brought out most of my symptoms. And it was interesting mix actually of the symptoms causing me to be bullied with them then being exaggerated by it. But what was so confusing, I guess, at the time for myself personally was the fact that some days it didn't affect me and some days it did. And even after we started on the journey of the investigation into PANS, reading the articles, getting involved with the charity and my parents in the support group, all of these things, starting to piece it together. I don't think I even could understand in the early days any of what was going on when you start talking about having something that nobody else has ever mentioned to you and no one understands when you try and explain it. It's quite a scary prospect.
When did you and your family first realize that what you're experiencing could be PANS, and how did that happen?
So it was early 2017. I was at my first school. I'd just finished. I was start to middle of year 7, and I'd had a few flare-ups that had led to incidents at the school, fights, suicidal episodes, the whole show really. And my dad stumbled upon an article from BBC Scotland about it was about a parent and their child with PANS. And then my dad did his usual thing, which was send it straight to my mum and go, this seems relevant to Mitch. And then my mum did her usual thing, which was an awful lot of very good research online, and got through a load of articles from different people who'd had experiences, America, Europe, all over the place, going through it, finding as many symptoms, causality, anything we could find, basically. I was then out of school for 6 months, and that's when that level of research and trying to understand it really ramped up. It was because I was no longer in school. Because of it, it was causing lots of problems. My social life completely collapsed. None of my friends would speak to me. I left all the sports I played because that was a trigger as well. So I literally, my life collapsed around me. The only thing I had left was motorsport, and thank goodness for my parents and my motorsport family, and my parents taking me to motorsport still, which sounds very counterintuitive, taking a unstable, emotionally destroyed child to the most dangerous places in the UK at racetracks. But that was all I had left. A lot of people said, you've definitely got leftover PTSD from the bullying, which has led you to just block it out. So it's a form of type amnesia that I have, that I don't remember what went on in those early days. That whole period of my life has just kind of been pushed to the side. So I remember possibly 3 or 4 days from those 2 years. But they were good days, so at least there's that.
How did you and your family first hear about PANS Pandas UK, And what specific support were we able to offer?
I believe we registered with the charity around May 2018, and then they, in the early days, both my parents attended online group meetings, chats, everything through Pans Pandas UK, everything they were doing, the support groups that they set up initially, different, all the forums, all the start of the website and everything. I mean, 2017, 18, I was still having those big outburst episodes. I was still having the big depressive, suicidal episodes at the same time. Sometimes it was still a very dark period, I guess, from everyone else's point of view. From my point of view, that just kind of seemed what my life was going to be. My parents were definitely wanting it to get better for me, and so they were involved in absolutely everything. And then I got involved pretty much as soon as I was sort of better enough, that's terrible, but well enough to get involved with the charity. So I got straight involved pretty much at the start, I think, of the youth board. So I jumped on that opportunity and then stayed with them.
What does Pans Pandas UK mean to you personally?
It means a sense of belonging. The fact that there is a name out there, Pans Pandas UK, means that I'm not alone. And to start with, we were completely alone. Pans Pandas UK means you're not alone. If you know about it, they know about you, and they're working for you. So it just takes away that isolation and desperation almost, because you can visibly see work being done. Knowing something's out there, I think, is just brilliant. Particularly for me, is like, a lot of the time I am comfortable to say stuff, but if I'm having a bad day, when it's most important they need to know about my condition, I can't explain it because of my condition. So it's like that oasis of information that I can send people to, which means I don't have to store that myself. And I know my parents get an extreme amount of hope from it as well, from the community, from the charity itself, from the information sharing. It gives them the hope that I can manage it more.
Is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Yeah, just a massive thank you to Pans Pandas UK for all their hard work. Thank you to all the members of the youth board for all those times that I went into a meeting feeling like the world was completely collapsing around me. A massive thank you for them giving all these opportunities to find the hope, because I'm not the best at finding it myself. So yeah, it's great.